Well, it's just a beautiful vista and I had to share it with you. Good morning, everyone. This promises to be a lovely day here at Belton Cottage. There's been lots and lots of rain, so everything is beautifully watered. I don't have to worry about the water. I don't have to worry about the plants. There's just beautiful wee bee. I'm fascinated by them. There's been some wind as well, although there's been no problem here in the gardens because of course everything is very well protected. So I'm prepared for a little walk around. I have my wellies on, so I'm good to go. So what I'll do first of all, I'll walk down to the end of the lane, then I'll walk back up, go round the back of the cottage, over to the tunnel, up to the stone circle and back. So we'll set off. Of course, this is the 14th year of the Belton project, and in the 14th year what I've been concentrating on is getting myself back into good health and fitness and good energy, because I feel that I've spent 13 years doing this for Mother Earth, and it's a time now just to enjoy the experience of living so closely with Mother Earth and all that wonderful energy that she has created here is now feeding me. And I was listening to Dwayne. Hi Dwayne, because I know you tune into my videos. I was listening to you talk about Findhorn, and in fact you were reading a chapter from one of the books about Findhorn. It's fascinating, by the way, people. If you want to listen to that, just go on to Dwayne's YouTube channel. And all of that made perfect sense. Talking about the devas, which of course is an Indian word for spirits, for earth spirits. And so I'm kind of doing this little affected cough because I've had some coffee and I just stepped straight out then with the camera. Come on, Jack. Right, so we're just here at the entrance, so we'll walk back up. No, that should do it. You can see here at the entrance, it's just been abundantly planted onto pure soil, and of course, if this isn't magic and earth devas and all that incredible energy which I believe comes from the great goddess, if this isn't a manifestation of it here at Belton, I don't know what is. Because look how closely everything is planted and look how abundantly and healthily everything is growing. Jack, come in. Now, talking of health, I think I have 6 days left on this juice fast. I actually finish on Tuesday of next week. And so far I've lost 56 pounds in weight. I'm feeling absolutely fabulous. Sorry about the pun. I love that programme. I'm feeling really fabulous. I'm feeling energised. You can hear it in the sound of my voice, the tone of my voice, the way that I'm walking without all that heavy breathing, which of course, if you want to experience that, go on to any of the videos made last year and you'll hear lots of heavy breathing as I walk. So obviously I'm not 100% back in good health because there's another 20 pounds to go before I'm a healthy BMI, but I'm absolutely confident that this is more than possible now, because I have had this personal experience of this incredible energy at work, and I feel like I've spent the past 3 months in, a kind of recuperation ward, if that makes any sense. But I just feel so charged and so happy and vibrant and relieved and confident. I feel very confident that I don't ever have to go back to that Colette who was. And that Colette who was on a very limited time span. Certainly the way that I used to feel. I used to fear going to sleep at night because I would fear having a stroke in the middle of the night, you know. And living on my own, that can be a very frightening prospect. And what bothered me more, really, was the fact that one of my children would have to find me, you know. So I'm now feeling ready and willing and able to embrace the work that's ahead of me, because I know there's work ahead of me. And I think I'm just sort of talking intuitively now. I think it's to do with a much bigger project. I don't know how this is going to manifest. The life here at Beltona is happy and strong and can continue on. I think I was saying this to some visitors during May, that if I was to go down that drive, through the gate, close the gate behind me and padlock it, and never return, that the Beltona project would probably just burst out. It would keep going in this wondrous way and would eventually just burst out through the man-made perimeters. This little horse chestnut tree. Right, I'll keep going. I'm walking uphill at this point. I made a decision yesterday as well to join a gym. I'm hearing you say, you don't need to join a gym, you're always on the go. Actually I do, in terms of regular, I think it's called weight bearing exercises. So that's important. And also the gym that I've joined has a swimming pool and, wait for it, a jacuzzi. So it's also going to be a place for me to go and relax as well, which can be a very beneficial thing to do, and especially during the autumn and winter months. However, I could only afford a 6-month membership, but anyway, at least I have it now for the next 6 months, and hopefully by the end of the 6 months I'll be able to afford another 6 months. It's kind of difficult at times getting my mindset into a place where I'm looking after myself, you know. It's not something that comes naturally to me. I'm having to teach myself to do this. And, you know, it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve. Look at this Cotoneaster over the barrel. Now, Kathy Anderson, you've actually asked me about what the name of this Cotoneaster is here. And I have said about an app, you know, that there is an app that you can get, and you can basically take a photograph and then upload it onto the app, and it'll tell you what the plant's name is. You know, the botanical name, the Latin name. Now, all I can tell you is this is Cotoneaster, and I only think, it's called Frigidalis, but don't quote me on that. I've got 3 different types of Cotoneaster here in the gardens of Beltona. This is another one. This is a mammoth one. I don't know the name of this one at all. I mean, that could be the Frigidalis, I don't know. I've grown them all from cuttings. In fact, if you just look, I mean, look, you can see just where I've put this cutting here into the bed, and look how it's growing. I mean, it's very abundant, but that's with everything here. It kind of goes from non-existent into crazy abundance in a very short time. And this is some more, look, that I just stuck into the end of the bed there, and away it goes. So I've got to stop doing this. Sticking bits of plants into beds. But, you know, it's just amazing how it all works. Well, of course it's not amazing. I've got to stop using that word amazing, because I know exactly how it works. And it's unbelievable to a lot of people. But then, you know, the same people believe in sky gods. They believe in sometimes quite ridiculous things, quite wild things. I believe in what I see. And what I see here is incredible. So I believe in the incredible, and I believe in the possible. And I believe that there are so many other worlds interacting with our own, and we're so arrogant that we don't see it. So I try not to be too arrogant about it, and I try not to give a name to it, because to give a name to it is almost like owning it. And I don't own it. I'm part of it. So, just show you this beautiful, look at this, isn't this a sight for sore eyes? So here we have this beautiful, what was an import barrel for orange juice. I cut the top of it. It's now a water barrel, and it has rose petals on it. Look at this, isn't this just beautiful? See, this is very otherworldly. There's this beautiful cotoneaster clinging onto it and growing around it. There's moss growing down there at the bottom, and that cotoneaster is just spilling out of this pot, in which is growing a green beech. And then above it you've got this incredible rose, which again is just growing from a little cutting that I stuck over there in the same barrel that the fig tree is growing out of. Now, you can explain that. I just look at it. I just look at it, and my jaw drops. So, we shall go on. We shall sally forth into the gardens. Oh, look at this now. There's some little flowers beginning to peep out on the honeysuckle. And draw back, you can see that rose is going mad. This is lovely. These are the flowers of the ground elder, which to most people is just an invasive horror. I say let it have its day. It doesn't seem to take from anything else that's growing in that bed. So, I've been chopping and dropping along the paths, and you can see, if you look closely, you can see all the piles of chop and drop, which feeds all the plants and all the beauty above it and around it. And look at this beauty. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm just going to walk up this little path and then walk back down again. Look at this, and there's little dark and secret places evolving in all of this. Now, just look look around. There's the willow arches. And there's this beautiful canopy. So we walk back down. And come through here. So I'm just beginning the chop and drop a little bit before the 21st. I'm just doing little bits now. I'm not getting too carried away with myself. Just enough, you can just see, just enough to be able to navigate my way through the paths. And I think, oh, look at this. There's all those crazy raspberries. I mean, that's going to be a crop and a half, isn't it? And there's apples and raspberries. And black currants, lots of black currants. Lots of food, lots of beautiful, energizing, organic, natural food. So I'll just take you down through this little place. There's another wee path. And there's another arch which is going rampant. And look at this. Another little arch here. I'm having to push my way through the roses. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that for a rose. So I'm just going to bend down and go underneath the arch. And here we have all these beautiful ferns. The ferns are just everywhere. Everywhere. And here we have lots and lots of jostaberries. Look at that. Branches just falling over. Now you can see the arch a little bit better. Perhaps on the other side and all the roses. The healed land becomes healing. The healed land becomes a healer. Becomes a healer and a giver. Now, I did a bit of chop and drop along here. And of course, the drop makes a nice pathway. And you can see I've literally chopped to keep the path open and dropped. In fact, we'll walk up this path so you can hear underfoot all the crunchings and the squelchings from the chop and drop. And you can see close up there of how it works. And then you can see here, look, all this little cuttings that I've put in. Now this is on the sort of ignored side of the polytunnel, you know. This is not where you would expect to find a harvest. But let me show you the harvest that's happening here. So we've got this incredible wall, this living wall. So we have fuchsia and spirea, okay? And then there's stuff in behind there as well. We've got this incredible fuchsia here. And of course these flowers are edible, and the berries that they turn into are edible. And then in behind it we've got more fuchsia and willow. This is spirea, it's just beginning to flower. There's little buds beginning to grow. That's incredible food when it turns to seed for the birds. Lots of really healthy willow in there, look at that. Beautiful ash in behind it. And of course look at the seeds on the ash. Can you see them? Can you see them through there? And then in here as well, look at the hebes. Look at this. Look at the raspberries. And raspberries just spilling out here onto the edge. Look at this. Beautiful. Black currants in there as well. More raspberries. There's Jack doing his little eating the grass, and then the grass helping him to get the bile up from his stomach. And of course, new trees growing. There's a sycamore. Got nettles in there, got comfrey in there. This is on the edge of the compost heap as well. Anyway, we'll make our way back up this way. I'm going to speed myself up a little bit. Otherwise it's going to be difficult to get as much into this video as I want to pack in. Now this is the tunnel, and you can see all the incredible bunches of grapes forming there. Bees whizzing past me. And the door of the polytunnel is open, so these are hollyhocks, which will be flowering soon. And of course lots of bay, the beautiful bay. And then on the top end of the Lunasa garden, so remember I showed you these cuttings of Cotoneaster, and keep saying Cotoneaster, I don't mean Cotoneaster, I mean dogwood. All the cuttings of dogwood I put in along here. I said I wanted to form like a wall of red during the winter. Well, all those have taken beautifully. And then behind this wall of dogwood is of course all these black currants. There's a big wall of black currants. Behind the wall of black currants we have a higher wall, like a turret, of jostaberries. So all working beautifully. I did a little bit of chop and drop along here. I've got to edge my way carefully along that wee bridge. And so we come to the stone circle. And just as we come into the stone circle, look at this, the sunlight casts this incredible illumination through it. The land speaks. The land is speaking all the time. And it's speaking from such a confident base now. And you've probably noticed that in videos, you know, where I'm talking about bees and the next thing a bee just appears in front of the camera lens. And I said further down the driveway that I was going to come up to the stone circle, and just as I appeared here we have this beautiful sunlight illuminating it all, and it's quite magical. You know, I use the word magical because I'm not going to try to explain it. Okay, I'm just going to use the word magical, and you can fill in all the blanks. So incredibly serene. As I stand here in the middle of this circle, there is an incredible serenity. The most incredible peace. The most incredible peace. And I want to do something to bring all of you into this circle, and I'm not too sure what it's going to be. But I do want to bring people into this circle. But anyway, we'll talk about that another day. So now leaving the circle, I always feel quite rejuvenated leaving the circle, and I see things just that little bit differently. I see more. I see more. And in fact, I am seeing more. Look at the raindrops on the leaves of the spirea. Now I've shown you spirea. I haven't seen those raindrops. And the way the spirea and the ferns is all growing and pushing forward, and look at the fuchsia. Oh, a little walnut tree. I don't know how that survived because it was a little twig, literally a little twig. You can see where I've done a little bit of chop and drop last year around it. Gosh. I'm looking back now into the stone circle. It's almost as though it's behind a veil. I don't know if you can see that. I feel quite mesmerised. I have to shake myself down and walk on. I think I can lose myself for hours up in this part of the land. There we go. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and blessings, special blessings to all of you, and blessings to those of you who leave a little bit of your heart here. I think it's a good place. I think it's a good place to leave a little bit of oneself. It's a safe place. And very magical. Blessings.